So here's probably the most craziest thing that I wish I knew about anxiety, which is that it's actually powerful and you can use it to make you powerful. Here's how you can stop fighting it and start using it because we have it, right? If you guys are on this session, you guys joined this community, you had anxiety or you have anxiety. Now let's make lemonade with the lemons. Here's what we're going to talk about, right? Why anxiety gets worse when we fight it, what anxiety really means, how acceptance makes it easier, turning it into energy, and letting it guide you as opposed to stopping you. Here's probably one of the most important. Here is probably the most important thing I'll say today. Fighting anxiety makes it stronger. Even if it's a new symptom, even if it's an old thought, even if it's a setback and you feel the shame and guilt, fighting it makes it stronger because that is what actually feeds anxiety. I don't know if anyone's seen this movie, but it was the Batman v Superman movie. And essentially, at the end of the movie, there was like this villain that Batman and Superman were going against. And every time they would attack the villain or punch the villain, it actually gave the villain more power. So that when the villain punched back, it had more power. It was stronger than them. So they literally couldn't attack it. So them trying to attack and fight it just made the villain stronger and made it more likely that Batman and Superman would lose. Anxiety is the same. The moment you try to fix, the moment you try to fight, the moment you try to push it away, that is what gives anxiety power. So just know that when you have a setback, the instant urge is, let me do everything I can to fix this. Let me ruminate, let me Google, and sometimes maybe you're trying to do all these positive things. Let me try every single technique. Let me try every single video. And that actually makes you ruminate more. So, fighting it gives it power. Fighting it is what gives it strength. You trying to avoid your shame, avoid your resistance, avoid your guilt. That is what makes the guilt, the shame, the resistance stronger. So it's kind of like a wave. Don't fight the wave. Just let the wave come, let the wave go. Don't try and push the wave away because that just results in more waves. Here's what anxiety really means, because I know most of us think, or at least at one point thought, anxiety is a bad thing. But anxiety is just an emotion, and anxiety just shows what you care about. For example, if I'm like, oh my God, I wish enough people showed at the group session, I wish people find value in the presentation. If I got anxious about that, it just means I care about the group session. If you're anxious about a physical symptom that you have, or a work project that's coming up, it just means you care about it. It just means you care about your body. So when you think about it like that, you stop seeing it as much of a bad thing. Oh, I'm anxious about this. It just means I care about it. Like if I take Russell's example of his wins that were quite popular, of like the setback with his back sensations. If he was anxious about that, it's just because, hey, you care about your back. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty beautiful. You care about your body. Or I take Amanda who's trying to overcome the withdrawals. It's because you actually care about your health. You care about your mood. You care about your actual nervous system. It's just showing you what you care about. So stop seeing it as a bad thing. It's just a communication to you of what you care about, of what your body is saying is important to you. So, and even death, because I know, Amanda, you just said that, like you care about your life. That's why you're anxious about death. Could be other things, but if we take this example, here's something that I will never stop saying because it's probably the most overlooked thing when it comes to healing in general, which is the only thing that's actually going to ease your pain is acceptance. There's this quote I love that has directly transformed the way I think things, which is the desire for a positive experience is a negative experience, but the acceptance of a negative experience is in itself a positive experience. Said differently, when you try to push something away or create a reality that isn't real, that is negative. But if you accept the situation you're actually in, whether it's a setback, whether it's a new symptom, whether it's um, something went wrong in your life, an argument, a parking ticket, a demotion, whatever, accepting it makes it easier. Stop trying to fix yourself. This isn't about religion, but I used to study Buddhism, not as a religion, just from the pointers in it. And and I'm sure most people have heard of the Buddha. And there was this story where like everyone gathered around, right? Everyone gathered around, and then somebody raised his hand and was like, I can't be bothered meditating or practicing all of this. Can you just summarize everything that you've learned in like one word? Can you do that? And this is what he said. He said, everything changes. And the way I took that was, you can find peace when you stop trying to change what's currently here. When you stop trying to change that emotion, that setback, that symptom, when you stop fighting it, the intensity drops, which means you ride the wave instead of drowning in it, instead of resisting in it. Okay, here's why you all joined this session, which is how can we turn this into energy? How can we use anxiety? How can we make anxiety the thing that makes us powerful? So you can reframe anxiety as excitement or care, which means if you're anxious all the time, it means you have that many opportunities to reframe anxiety as excitement, because the physiology between anxiety and excitement is so similar that the only thing that makes the difference is the way your brain perceives it. So if you're nervous for the speech, you're nervous for the drive, you're nervous to get up on the roller coaster ride, that's you being excited. So literally say that to yourself. When you feel the goosebumps, when you feel the nerves, say it out loud. I'm just excited. This is how my body's showing me that I'm excited. Use that as energy. Like, have you ever, I'm sure all of you can remember this. Just think of a moment in time in a past memory where you felt so excited about something, whether it's a work project, whether it's a, a party with a friend, whether it's a date. And do you remember how that excitement actually helped you perform better, helped you be more present, helped you care more about the thing? So when you have anxiety about something, those are the same sensations, the same physiological changes are happening in your body. So if you choose, and that's the key word, you have to choose and repetitively be, okay, this is me being excited. So that means the thing that once froze you, the thing that once stopped you from taking action, can fuel you. It's kind of like there was this. I don't know if anyone's seen this show. I don't know why I'm saying so many TV show references, but there was a show called Teen Wolf, and one of this there was a scene in it. It's about werewolves, and one of the scenes we're trying to fight all these bad werewolves, and this guy needed energy, and he would like gets adrenaline and then pumps it into himself so he can fight the werewolves. Think of anxiety like that adrenaline, like free energy. You know when you take an energy drink, you know when you drink a coffee. Think of anxiety as your coffee. Think of anxiety as a thing that's just free energy, but you just got to use it. And that's pretty crazy, right? It's like, hey, I don't need to have a Red Bull right now. If I feel anxious, I can actually channel that energy to propel me forward. Now, here's the final thing, which is let it guide you, right? Let your anxiety guide you. Anxiety doesn't mean you're shrinking. It doesn't mean you're staying stagnant. It often means you're growing and stretching. Because I know a lot of you in this call right now, and maybe some of you listening to this, you guys have made significant progress. But you still might have, excuse me, you still might have anxiety over other things, other goals, other symptoms even. What if that was just the way your nervous system was teaching you how to get out of your comfort zone, how to step into the unknown? So ask yourself, the thing that you're anxious about, What is this preparing me for? Will I one day look back on this as a positive? Like, for example, I had a one on one call with Kara before this session, and one of the things she was saying was obviously she's an entrepreneur in real estate, and she was saying how the current day to day problems that she has now, she wouldn't think twice about, but at one point, those day to day problems would literally make her lose sleep, and she would have anxiety about those things. But the fact that she had anxiety about those things meant that she had overcame those things. And now those day-to-day things, now that stress tolerance was significantly higher. So in a way, you needed to be anxious about those things. So if I apply this to you guys, in a way, whatever you're going through right now, whether it's withdrawal, whether it's a new symptom, whether it's a setback, whether it's you being on top of the world and you feeling like, I don't need to be as consistent, all of those things are preparing you. So let it sharpen you, not stop you. And if you start actually, like, if you guys really, really start embodying this and you really start thinking, okay, I have anxiety, I have a dysregulated nervous system, I have this symptom. How can I use this to make me better? Think about how much more powerful you would become. Oh my God, I learned how to deal with withdrawal. I am now a much more resilient person. I feel like I can face anything right now. Like, for example, if I didn't have my anxiety, if I didn't have my chronic illness, I would never have made videos. I never would have met you guys. I never would have done this for a living. So the thing that once made me suicidal is now the thing that gives me the most fulfillment. Because it is fulfilling to me when I see that you guys get better, when I see the progress that you guys make. But I can assure you, whenever I had my lowest of days, I was not in those moments. I wasn't exactly thinking, "Oh my God, one day this is gonna be the thing that really saves my life or really gives me fulfillment." But I wish I had, which is why I want to pass that lesson on to you guys. So see anxiety as bettering you. You already have it. You deal with it. Now use it.